what happens when we do Docker Swarm init, Docker Swarm join? Well, when we do Docker Swarm init, it creates a key pair and a CA for our swarm. So our swarm, we have a certificate authority, and then it creates a key pair for the first node of the cluster. It signs the key pair with the root CA, and it creates the root tokens, and it brings all the swarm code like live. There's a bunch of threads, like routines technically, that start to maintain all that, and it starts listening on the cluster communication port. When you do Docker Swarm join, so you pass the token, and the token, it's not only a password, it really has two parts, and I think you can see them. Yep, I can't remember which is which, but one of the two parts before the dash, I think, is a secret key, so to make sure that nobody can join your cluster if they don't have it. The other part is a fingerprint of the certificate of the CA, so that nobody can impersonate your swarm. So when you join with the token, it's a kind of a double password, because it's the password to get into the swarm, but it's also a way to say, I'm expecting to talk to this cluster. And so if somebody else tries to sneak in, their fingerprint won't match, and you will know it, and that way you will not leak your precious private token. Yes? Is that self-signed? Yeah, that CA, in that case, it's self-signed. And there is a way to also integrate with external CAs if you want. Yeah. If a token is compromised, there is a command to rotate tokens. So you Docker swarm join token -- rotate, and it just rotates everything, and you have nothing else to do. So now, when you do Docker swarm join, the node, like the authentication of the node is checked, like the token is here to validate that. Then once the node is accepted, it's like, okay, you have a valid token, I know you're clear. Then the cluster will generate a key pair for that new node. Then it will be signed by the CA. And if the node is a manager, it will be added to the Raft consensus protocol. It will connect to the current leader, and it will accept connections for the worker nodes. So if I were to go back with the drawing with the whales and the monkeys, the workers are connecting to the managers, but they don't all connect to the leader. They spread the connections across the different managers, and then the managers forward everything to the top. If a node is a worker, it will just connect to a manager, and it will kind of wait for instructions, basically. Cluster communication, so the control plane, so all the communication for the Swarm Kit protocol is encrypted with AES GCM, so that's was counter mode. Keys are rotated twice a day, and that's done automatically. Authentication is done with mutual TLS auth, so like certificate both client side and server side. Certificates are rotated automatically every 90 days, which means, by the way, that if a node, like if you disconnect a node and wait 3 months and reconnect it, it will not be able to reconnect because the certificate has expired. So if that's not good for your use case, that's fine. You can use Swarm Update to change the rekeying interval, or you can just have the node rejoin. Yeah. The data plane, so the communication between containers, is not encrypted by default, but we will see that this can be changed very easily. If you want to know more about like SwarmKit internals, those links are probably what you will want to look at. A bunch of slides, a bunch of videos, some of them from a distributed systems summit that we did a few months ago in Berlin, and there were like a bunch of internal presentations on Docker stuff, but also on non-Docker stuff. And so we had extensive presentations about the data model and how it works, and design decisions and why and how, etc., etc.